What if the figures we often think of as ruthless power grabbers, Julius Caesar, Octavian, and Mark Antony, weren't merely seizing control for themselves? What if, instead, they were representing the will of the Roman people during a time of immense crisis? As the Roman Republic collapsed under the weight of inequality, corruption, and political chaos, these men emerged not only as military leaders, but as champions of the people's needs. Their rise to power wasn't just about personal ambition. It reflected a deep desire for change among the masses. Let's explore how these leaders gained legitimacy through popular support and how they became symbols of the people's will in ancient Rome. Julius Caesar wasn't just a military genius. He was a reformer who recognized the needs of the Roman people. By the time he rose to prominence, the Republic was in serious decline. The Senate, dominated by a privileged aristocracy, had failed to address the growing problems of debt, poverty, and inequality. Veterans returning from Rome's wars were landless. The urban poor faced dire living conditions, and the Senate focused solely on preserving its own wealth and influence. Caesar saw these cracks in the system and built his political career by addressing them. His reforms, including redistributing land to veterans, providing debt relief, and creating public works programs to generate jobs, deeply resonated with the Roman masses. These policies were more than strategic moves. They were lifelines to the many Romans who felt abandoned by the ruling elite. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon and marched on Rome, it wasn't simply an act of ambition. It was the culmination of years of popular support. He wasn't seizing power in a vacuum. He was answering the call of the people, who viewed him as the one leader capable of delivering the reforms they desperately needed. Caesar's rise was rooted in the support of the masses, not in mere military force. After Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE, Rome descended into chaos. The Senate celebrated his death as a victory for the Republic, but the people saw it differently. Into this power vacuum stepped Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian. At just 18 years old, Octavian, later known as Augustus, lacked the military experience of his predecessor, but he possessed something far more important: the loyalty of the Roman people. Octavian quickly positioned himself as Caesar's rightful heir, not just in name, but in purpose. The Roman masses rallied behind him because he promised to restore stability and continue the reforms Caesar had started. Octavian skillfully used public works projects, grain distributions, and military victories to present himself as the leader who could bring peace and prosperity to Rome. When he defeated Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, Octavian didn't declare himself emperor. Instead, he took the title Princeps, or First Citizen, maintaining the illusion of republican values while holding ultimate power. This delicate balancing act marked the transition from the Roman Republic to the Roman Empire. Octavian's legitimacy was built on the enduring support of the people, not just on authoritarian force. Mark Antony is often remembered for his romance with Cleopatra, but his political career reveals a much more complex figure. Like Caesar, Antony was a populist at heart, and his early success was rooted in his ability to connect with the Roman people. As Caesar's loyal ally, Antony was seen as the natural successor to his legacy. After Caesar's death, Antony became one of the most powerful figures in Rome. His popularity stemmed from his reputation as a soldier's general, a leader who fought alongside his troops and earned their unwavering loyalty. Antony's legendary funeral speech for Caesar showcased his ability to sway public opinion and rally the masses. He positioned himself as a defender of the people, vowing to avenge Caesar's assassination and continue his reforms. Even as his alliance with Cleopatra led to political conflict with Octavian, Antony remained a popular figure among certain factions of Roman society. His eventual downfall came not from a lack of public support, but from military defeat at the hands of Octavian. Antony's career underscores that his power, like Caesar's, was grounded in his connection to the people, not merely in personal ambition. What sets Caesar, Octavian, and Antony apart from traditional power grabbers is the source of their legitimacy. Unlike rulers who relied solely on military coups or political manipulation, these men gained power through the support of the Roman masses. Their popularity wasn't an accidental byproduct of their military success. It stemmed from their ability to address the real issues facing Rome. Traditional power grabbers often rule against the will of the people, relying on fear and force to maintain control. Caesar, Octavian, and Antony understood that their success depended on meeting the needs of the masses, not just on catering to the elite. This gave them a form of legitimacy that set them apart from other leaders in Roman history. In the end, Caesar, Octavian, and Antony weren't simply power-hungry tyrants. They were leaders who represented the will of the people during one of Rome's most turbulent periods. Their political careers were shaped by their ability to connect with the Roman masses and offer reforms that addressed the Republic's systemic failures. While their methods were often controversial, their rise to power was rooted in popular support, not mere ambition. Their story reminds us that leadership isn't just about seizing control. It's about understanding the needs of the people and earning their trust. Caesar, Octavian, and Antony succeeded because they knew how to speak to the people, and in doing so, they shaped the future of Rome. Their legacy endures, not as simple power grabbers, but as leaders who stood for the will of the people during a time of profound crisis. If you found this deeper look into the lives of Caesar, Octavian, and Antony enlightening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into history's most misunderstood figures. Let's continue uncovering the complexities of the past together and revealing the truths that shaped our world.